Radhakrishnan is a life coach specializing in leadership, relationship, and youth coaching. She is a co-founder and managing partner of 3 business ventures in UAE, UV Consultants, Yellow Balcony Events, and UPR LLC. This trainer, coach, and consultant with 24 years of organizational and entrepreneurial experience is happiest empowering people to reach their full potential and achieving outcomes. This postgraduate in economics and holds several certifications in training, Neuro-Linguistic programming and coaching, Certified International Professional Training Consultant, a Certified Associate Leadership and Life Coach, a Certified NLP Master Practitioner and Coach, a Certified NLP Trainer, Certified Emotional Intelligent Coach Practitioner, Certified Group Coach and Certified Accelerated Learning Coach. She has trained extensively in India, US, Europe, and Far East and the Middle East. She is a distinguished Toastmaster who has held several leadership positions at the district and international level and received a presidential citation for her contribution. She is also an avid youth groomer who conducts youth programs to help children grow in leadership, responsibility, and confidence, and a passionate champion for women empowerment.
Welcome to the 6th episode of Positive Media Channel. I am joined today by a life coach specializing in leadership, relationship, and youth training. She is the co-founder of 3 business ventures in the UAE. She is a distinguished Toastmaster who has held several leadership positions in the international and the district level and has even received a presidential citation for her wonderful work. She finds herself happiest motivating people and empowering people to reach their fullest potential. Please help me welcome DTM Uma Radhakrishnan. Thank you. So my first question to you, I want to get to know you better outside your achievements and your bio. So you grew up in Kerala, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so can you tell us about your village in Kerala and what you miss about it most, considering that you live in the UAE most of your time, yeah?
Yeah. I was born in, I don't know whether you're familiar with the place, it's Tripunithra in Ernakulam. Familiar with it? Yeah, and I believe that Tripunithra is God's answer to everything that's beautiful. Yeah, because when I was growing up, and which is a long time ago, and I'm feeling nostalgic about it right now. So we had, what shall I say, a very close-knit community. And a close-knit family as well. So I was born among several aunts and uncles and cousins, and everyone played the role of
lives together. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like a joint family wherein everybody was responsible for everybody. Now that is something that I miss out. You asked about what I miss. The place, because I go every 2 months. My parents live there, so I make it a point to visit every 2 months.
That's lovely. Yeah.
Thank you. And what I miss is that, what shall I say, openness, you see. I don't see the kind of openness that we are used to, or rather we were used to as kids. Back then we could just get into anybody's house as if it was your own. These days there are so many restrictions. I don't see children playing about the way we used to when we were kids.
All parents say that nowadays. Oh, my days, those were lovely, right?
Because we become a bit nostalgic when we talk about all of us get nostalgic when we talk about the past, but that was a golden period. The people who were around, I mean, each of them had some unique qualities about them that we could learn from.
Yeah, and the more time you spend with people, the more you learn from them.
Absolutely. Which is sort of what has groomed us.
That's played a lot of a role in how you've become
Absolutely.
now, right?
I would say that. I would say that every person, be it a good person or a not so good person, has changed or defined our lives. They define our lives in some ways.
That's lovely.
Big or small.
Okay, so my next question is, you're a life coach, you're a neuro-linguistic specialist, you've done so much. Which role do you treasure the most? What makes you the happiest?
the role of a coach and a trainer, and especially a youth groomer, actually, I love it when I work with children, because I can see, you're like clay. And I love it. Ready to be molded. More important than that, you have what it takes to better yourself. Come out of them, be something of yourself, make something of yourself. So when I see that in that raw form, and okay, if I chip a bit off there, if I help with this part, and that evolves into a diamond, that gives me a real kick. So I love working with children.
Okay, so you do spend a lot of your time with youth, right? What is your favorite thing about working with youth?
What I said, because it's the greenness.
Just ready to come out.
It is the greenness, the greenness aspect of you. For instance, I was listening to the speeches today and blew my mind. You can say what you want to say, how you want to say it.
Yeah, because kids, they don't overthink it, right?
It is. It's just that you don't have inhibitions. Inhibitions. As you grow older, you have a lot of restrictions. Oh, what if I say this, which doesn't sound right? It is not taken right. But you don't have that, and I love that about the youth, and that's what keeps them with you and makes you feel green as well. Yeah.
You can be open around them, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Toastmasters over the years has received so much praise for developing skills in its members that last them for a lifetime, right? Could you tell the viewers about Toastmasters as a whole and how it has helped you develop into the person you've become today?
So many definitions about what Toastmasters can do for you. For me personally, it has been how I evolved as a leader, and the communication aspect comes along with it. So the moment you take to something and you give it your all and soul, it has refined me as a leader. It has defined me as a leader, I would say, wherein I am looking deeper into me as a person, and I'm looking at what the rough edges are and the stuff that, smoothing them, and I'm putting myself out in a more professional manner. And Toastmasters has really helped me shape myself in both words, deeds, and you name it. It has made me challenge myself, and even the companies that I have now, it has evolved because of the confidence that Toastmasters gave me.
Oh, that's
absolutely.
So you totally recommend joining a Toastmasters?
Oh, absolutely,
right?
without a doubt, without a doubt.
Could you tell us more about what NPL is and how it helps students in particular?
NLP is all about changing perceptions of the mind. If you analyze what NLP is all about, the expansion is Neuro Linguistic Programming. And Neuro, as you know, you're a student of grade 11, right? So it is to do with the brain. And the language is what you do to process the thoughts in the brain. And the programming is how you code those thoughts. So just to give you an example, when we look at the world, and let's say that you all have anxiety issues, right? As when you're growing up. So that anxiety, we get to understand what those anxieties are, and you'll use particular language, or rather positive language, or emotionally intelligent language, to ensure that you program your mind to come out of it. So the perceptions change. Because the perceptions change, the behavior changes. So in a sense, it makes you a better version of who you are.
Oh, so it's all about the change and growing as a person.
In my change of what goes between the ears is what NLP is all about.
Okay.
It's all in the mind.
So we've heard that your most awe-inspiring moment in Toastmasters was presenting a newly branded Toastmasters flag to the world, right? Can you tell us about the magic of that moment and how it must have felt?
Oh, it was beautiful. And every time someone asks me this question, in fact, I share this story as well. What happened is, immediately after I'd finished my district governorship, it was called district governor at the time, and I became second in the world. And that was the brand refresh happening, where the old emblem was taken out and the new one was coming in. And in August, I believe it was the first week of August, when the PR manager of Toastmasters International, Christian, she reached out to me and she said, would you consider, and I remember the sentence very well, would you consider holding the newly branded flag? I said, you're kidding me. You have to be kidding me, because this is something I'm delighted to do, and it is an honor.
I can feel the joy.
Absolutely. It was an honor, because nobody had touched it before. So I got to touch it for the first time, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So you consider that one of your proudest moments?
A proud moment for me. Absolutely. Yeah.
So you work a lot with gavel clubs, right?
Oh, yes, I do.
What advice would you give to my fellow gaveliers today?
See, the time that you have within a gavel club is immensely powerful.
Yeah.
So I see a trend in the gavel clubs wherein, children come in because you're all swamped with your exams, your extracurricular activities, your co-curricular activities. So I see children coming in at the last minute and presenting themselves, whether to speeches or projects, right? So I would urge you to refrain from doing that and prepare and practice, because this stage time of yours is extremely important. And the more you put in, as I mentioned earlier, the more you put in, the better it would be for. It's not just to finish.
The more you get back.
Yeah, it's not just to finish a project out there, is it? What are you learning from that? So the takeaway is more important, and you've got immense, value in what you get from your fellow Gavaliers, as well as your counselors and coordinators who are with you. So make the best of it and just dive deep and just get those precious gems
try
out.
all the roles you can, make all the mistakes you can, and learn the best.
Absolutely.
Right?
This is your laboratory. That's what we keep saying.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a lovely way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question is difficult, but it's also really cliche, and I want the viewers to think about it as well. It's good to have an answer in mind. So if you could make a change, big or small, anything, it could be anything, what would it be and why?
Now that's the thing. What is that change that I would like to make? I am actually doing that right now.
Wow,
in the sense, I don't believe that you need to postpone what you want to do.
Right.
So you should enjoy that way of doing it, right? So the thing is, I'm positive and I firmly believe so that anyone and everyone in this world, big or small, can make a change, whether it is big or small. And I believe that in every respect, whatever I do on a daily basis makes that change in someone. Because when I put myself out or get up in the morning, I want to do that for that particular day. So when you are the best version of yourself on a particular day, given day, you are bound to cause those ripples. It's like the ripple effect.
Right.
Yeah, you put the stone in and the ripples are formed. The same way, a good behavior, a good thought, a good word, a good
Sends a
deed
chain reaction,
from you
right?
will send out a chain reaction. And it works the other way too. So if you decide to be morose on a particular day, that's what the whole world will end out being for you.
Right.
Yeah, so keep changing people.
That's a lovely message. Miss, what's the biggest obstacle that you have faced, and what advice would you give to someone who's trying to overcome something or like a setback?
The first thing I would say is not to call them as an obstacle, right? So it is, and I since I'm talking to youngsters out here, right? The outcome as to where you want to go has to be very, very clear. So once you know where you want to go to,
The process
nothing is an obstacle anymore. So it's like, let's say that you want to go for a movie that you really, really want to see, and one road is jammed.
Right.
Traffic. Would you return home saying, it's okay, I don't want to see it?
No, I'd stick to that road and I'd make it to that movie.
Isn't
right?
it?
Yeah.
So you try any alternate route, so which works for you, but your ultimate goal is clear. I want to see that movie. The same way, your ends, if you have that outcome in mind, then you're sure to make it possible. So it's like, it's not an obstacle per se, it's a challenge, but there are many ways of going to that destination. Yeah.
Okay, my next question is a little bit similar, and it's a fun story time for me. So, what's something a setback has taught you? Everyone says mistakes are just an opportunity for learning, and especially if you're a school student, you've heard that at least 50 times, and eventually it becomes repetitive, but deep down everybody knows that it's true. So, what's your story?
I would say there are more than one way to skin a cat. You've heard that expression?
Yeah.
So there's not just one way. If one way doesn't work, let's try another way. As I said earlier, because it ties in the question that you asked previously as well. The sense, if it doesn't work in one way, just go ahead and try another way. It's just new ways of exploring the same thing, and maybe the second way is a better way of doing it, and it will give you more far-reaching results. So that people have to be consistent in what they're doing, persistent in what they're doing, and persistence is a good thing to have, especially at this age. Yeah.
And then we just learn from it.
Absolutely,
don't we?
absolutely.
So this is my last question. I want to make it count. It's pretty open-ended. You can do whatever you want with it. What's one message you would like to leave to the youth that's watching?
When you reach the age that I've reached, there is I don't remember which poet said this, but drink it to the lees. You've heard that?
No.
Yeah, so it's like, enjoying every sip of the drink that you have in your hand, Pepsi or whatever you have, fizzy drinks that you like, but enjoying it to that last. Have you seen a baby drain that, something that the baby likes?
Yeah.
It's like that. You need to be that way, enjoying everything to the last moment. And if you do what you love and you love what you do, you're going to be a success in your life, no matter what, because you're enjoying it to the hilt. Yeah, so that's my message out to you.
So how do you manage all these things of business, Toastmasters, mother and a family woman?
Where there is a will, there is a way. Yeah, and what I mentioned to her about loving what you do. When you are in love with something, you will find ways to do it. Yeah, let's say you love the Gavel Club, right? So you're here. Now going back, maybe you love your parents as well. So you will go for a movie with them. And you love reading a book. So you'll come back and probably catch up on some reading as well. So you tend to find time for what you like. And the idea is to like what you're doing to that extent that you would be doing it anyway. Yeah, since it's a good question actually. I've heard many children say that I hate math, I hate physics. Yeah. Correct? Yeah. So you will find that there's a pattern in it. The maths and physics will not like you back. It gets tougher and tougher. But when you say that you like something, you're changing that, altering that perception in your mind. You're moving 2 steps closer to what you like. And what you don't like is always, against you. So love what you do. Does that answer your question?
I've also heard that you train people with emotional intelligence. What is the key factor that led you to is it something from the youth training that brought you to such a...
Thank you for that question, dear. Now the thing is, how I came into emotional intelligence, the thing is, children today, very impulsive, would you say? Very impulsive. I want this, now that's the focus.
I don't know if children would agree, but parents would agree 100%. Right?
Yes, this impulse-driven culture that has come up now, makes us take wrong decisions. Now, if I were to share something with you, I think it was about a good 6 years ago, there was a girl who jumped off the roof of a building. Now that was when someone called us up, an association called us up and asked us to devise or rather put together something for children. And we've understood that what was found lacking is emotional intelligence. But a person who was to pause and think about such a thing, I mean, whatever the reason, this is no way to respond, or this is not responding, this is reacting to a situation that they cannot deal with. So we identified the gaps that are, things that are taught in school, things that are taught at home, things that are not taught, we thought we would address. And we developed modules based on emotional intelligence, which would prepare you for life. For instance, I asked you about anxieties. Every child is anxious when exams come in, when you come in with less marks, all of you are anxious, right? What would other people say? All those things play a havoc in your minds. And recently I heard about a young boy who just left home. Now, what makes children do this? It is because of this lack of emotional intelligence. So what we do is we use neuro-linguistic programming techniques to get you out of that anxiety and puts you in a better frame of mind wherein you are always self-aware. Self-awareness is by far the most important thing. How many of you are self-aware here? What is self-awareness? Anyone? Being self-aware means? You are aware of who you are, what makes you angry. For instance, when you get angry, right, there is something that happens to your body. All of us. For instance, our face becomes red and your hands go clenched, your teeth, you're clenching it. The moment you understand that those are the things that make me angry, you can kind of reverse those things to make you calm.
It's true.
So this is what NLP is all about, and emotional intelligence is something that is lacking in this world. Everyone harps about IQ, right? Oh, he's a highly intelligent boy, girl. But in this world, what gets you far is emotional intelligence. You know, you can be the best, what shall I say, scientist in the world, but if you lack emotional intelligence, you're not fully there.
Hi, ma'am. So the question I want to ask you is, from a normal woman from Kerala, how did you reach the top of Toastmasters International? What's your secret formula?
Thank you for that question. Actually, there is no secret formula. Do you know what the core values of Toastmasters core values? It's respect for the individual,
Right.
yeah, integrity, then service and excellence. Excellence, the 4 core values. If you tie in all these values to yourself, you can become a better human being, and you can excel in whatever you want, aspire to be. And in Toastmasters, this is exactly what helped me. For instance, if you look at the first one, which is respect for the individual, would you agree with me if I told you that, okay, respect is something you need in everyday life?
Right. Yeah.
And even when you're conducting a Toastmasters meeting here, a gavel meeting, isn't respect one of, importance? Because whatever you put out there, unless you respect the person sitting next to you, it will not come out in the right way, right? Yeah. So there is integrity wherein you're honest in all your dealings. And there is service, the attitude of service, which will help you get the best out of your peers as well. And the moment you start, for instance, when you do your evaluations, why are you doing your evaluations here for the first? You have to ask yourself, is it to showcase me as a speaker, or is it to get the best out of my peers? Now, when it is the latter, that is, you want the best for your peers, to improve your peers, automatically you would improve. Automatically you're becoming a better person. And excellence is when you invest in yourself with the knowledge, you make sure that you have all the attributes that it takes, and you try to become the go-to person when it comes to any question based on Toastmasters. So you tend to become, very well versed in everything, and then you just commit yourself to the whole movement. That's what, without even realizing that, you don't have to make a big hue and cry about the whole thing. Just be there. Being is important rather than talking about it.
Did you ever fail in something you took up? You took up something and then you failed in it?
Absolutely. Oh, you should ask my parents,
Parents always have a lot to say about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, in the sense, I was never good at math. Never good at math. If you're looking at failure in terms of specifics as in marks or academic subject, yes. Maths was always the thing that I used to flunk in. But if you talk about failure in life, I would rather not like to call it a failure. Everybody comes up, as we said earlier, obstacles or rather challenges would be there. But what you choose to do with that challenge is the thing. So you're learning. It's another way to look at the day, right? Yeah, so that way you just move forward, never backward. It's a bit like this, unless this foot accepts the floor, the other foot is not going to go forward, is it? The same way.
So good afternoon, ma'am. So what inspired you to choose emotional intelligence as your, a career topic, professional
aspects that we deal with? I'm a life coach and deal with NLP. We are master practitioners of Neuro Linguistic programming. But the most important thing is it changes perceptions, it alters behavior in a nice way. And I'm a lover of that. If you can change people into better people, right, change oneself into a better person, then you have achieved something in life, right? Yeah, so we start off with oneself because that is the most difficult. And once you start seeing changes in yourself, then you start implementing that on others and you see changes in them too.
You've gotten a lot out of it as well.
Oh yes, absolutely. And it's a kind of an addiction. Once you get this going, then you can't have enough of it. So it is good to see even children, they come in and they go. I had a gavel club which was started in 2004. It is still going full swing. Some of them are even mothers now. The children who have passed through the annals of the club are mothers now. Many of them are in Ivy League colleges, by the way. You're in such a beautiful, what shall I say, forum wherein it molds you so well. So that change is what made me do this.
Hi ma'am. How do you encourage women in the society? I have heard that.
Thank you for that question. See, recently I was in a forum wherein the topic was girl-child education, right? Now, anything and everything, and the only thing that makes me upset is when women or children, and it can be boys and girls, right, are put down. Because what we see now is a differentiation. You're all fortunate that in this part of the world you don't get to see that much in the households these days. But when we were growing up, this demarcation was very, very, very clear. And people are conditioned to that mindset. When I say people, the women are conditioned to that mindset of playing second fiddle to everything. You know, we see this even in corporates when we go out to, let's say, do a pitch. So it is that there is a kind of disparity between the way people are treated. I find that is not there when it comes to volunteering. In volunteering, I feel in a Toastmasters forum, everything is kind of, well balanced, and there is no up or down in the way people are treated. Not in the real world. This is a kind of, utopian world, I would say, wherein everything is right. But outside it is not so. Sometimes we have to fight for that right, as you said. And what I do to empower them is to believe in themselves. Women don't get what they want because they themselves lack that self-belief. Only once you believe that, okay, I can be there and can do that, it would come up.
It's all about the mindset.
It is about the mindset, and it has to happen from your homes. Yes. So even in the way you talk, the way you act, why must you consider yourself as, what shall I say, not at par with anyone? I'm not saying that this is a contest or a competition. I'm saying that when you put yourself or project yourself in a light that you are self-worthy, your self-worth, you are the only one who can hold that upright. The moment you allow someone to take advantage of you is when that goes down. Isn't it? So stand up for who you are. Show the world your confidence.
Thank you for being here. It was a pleasure interviewing you. I'm sure everyone got the most out of this.
The pleasure is mine, yeah. I love being with children, and thank you for the opportunity.
Please subscribe to Positive Media channel for future updates. Also, click the bell icon for timely updates. Do share our YouTube link among your friends and family.